All right, welcome. Today, we are doing a deep dive on a really critical security flaw. And what's wild is that it's hiding in plain sight, right at the core of the entire AI agent ecosystem.
So let's start with just how big this is. That number you're looking at, over 150 million. That's how many downloads across the AI supply chain are exposed by this one single architectural flaw. This isn't just about one piece of software. It's a massive, massive ripple effect. And this? Well, this is our estimate for the number of vulnerable server instances running out there in the wild right now. 200,000 of them. We're talking everything from public-facing servers to internal company research tools. The potential attack surface is just enormous.
Okay, so let's get into it, because here's the most shocking part, the thing that really makes this a systemic problem. This vulnerability, it's not a mistake. It's not an accident. It's an intentional design choice.
We're talking about something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. You can think of it as the universal language that AI agents use to talk to each other and to other tools. It was created by Anthropic to be the standard, and it has a flaw baked right into its DNA. The problem at its core allows for arbitrary command execution. In the security world, this is the holy grail for an attacker. It literally means they can run any command they want directly on your server. And when they can do that, they have complete access to your data, your databases, all your secret API keys, everything.
So how does this actually work?
Well, the vulnerability is triggered through the standard input/output interface, STDIO. It's a super basic way to get data into a program and get results back out. But in Anthropic's official software development kits, this simple channel is being used to turn what looks like a harmless configuration setting into a powerful command. And this right here breaks down the devastatingly simple logic of the attack. It's a four-step process. The SDK gets a config to start a tool. It uses STDIO to run it. And here's the critical part. Step 3, there is no validation. It never checks what it's being asked to run. And because of that, any unsanitized input from a user can just pass right through and execute as a command on the server's operating system. And I have to be really clear here. This is not some theoretical problem. We're not just whiteboarding this. This exact flaw has been used to compromise multiple live production platforms, and the ways it's been exploited are incredibly creative. Let's take IBM's LangFlow, for example. It's a framework for automating research. We found over 900 instances of it, publicly accessible on the internet, that were vulnerable to a complete server takeover. An attacker didn't need a password, no credentials at all. They could just send one specially crafted network request and get full control.
And check this out, because it shows how even systems that tried to protect themselves were still vulnerable. FlowIce actually knew about the risk, so they blocked certain dangerous commands. But attackers found an easy bypass. All they had to do was wrap their malicious command with npx, which is a legitimate package runner. That little -c flag tells npx to execute whatever string follows it, completely sidestepping the block list. Game over. This even hits developers on their own local machines. Take an AI IDE like Windsurf. The AI agent in the IDE can write to its own config files. So an attacker crafts a malicious prompt. A developer just copies and pastes it. That's it. The agent working in the background can then write a malicious entry to its config file and execute a command right there on the developer's computer. It's a zero-click attack, no other interaction needed. The impact is just so widespread. Our research ended up leading to over 10 high and critical CVEs. Those are the official common vulnerabilities and exposures. And every single one of them traces back to this one root cause, affecting a ton of popular projects.
So what happens when you find something this big? Well, you do the responsible thing. We disclosed all of our findings to Anthropic. And frankly, their response is exactly why this remains such a massive, systemic risk for the whole ecosystem.
Anthropic told us they wouldn't be modifying the protocol's architecture. They said, and I'm quoting here, that the behavior is expected. Their stance is that the responsibility for cleaning up input and preventing this kind of attack falls entirely on every single developer who uses their SDK. So let this sink in. The root cause is still there, unaddressed in all the official MCP SDKs. Python, TypeScript, Java, Rust, you name it. This means that if you're building on this foundation, if you're using these tools to create the next big AI app, you are inheriting this exposure by default, whether you know it or not. Okay, so this basically leaves the burden of protection on you, the developer. So from one engineer to another, let's talk about the immediate practical steps you need to be taking right now to harden your systems. Let's just run through this checklist real quick. First, sandbox your services. Isolate them. Restrict permissions so if one gets popped, the damage is contained. Second, block public IP access wherever possible. Third, and this is non-negotiable, treat all external configuration input as hostile. Assume it's untrusted, always. Fourth, stick to official SMCP registries. Don't get tricked by malicious code. And finally, you have to actively monitor your tool invocations for anything that looks weird. And for goodness sake, keep your software patched.
And here's the really frustrating part. While all these individual fixes are necessary for now, a systemic solution is not only possible, it's actually pretty straightforward. A single, simple change at the protocol level, like enforcing a pre-approved list of safe commands, could instantly protect millions of downstream users just like that.
Ultimately, this whole situation forces us to ask a much bigger question. As we're building out this incredibly powerful AI supply chain, where does the responsibility for security really begin? Does it start with the people creating the foundational protocols? Or does it fall on every single developer who builds on top of them? It's a question we really need to answer as we design the future of AI.